this concept of splitting those tasks into the relevant geography that they belong to, or the right next action folder. If you split this to-do list into these different folders that are more based on when you can tackle those to-do items so that you're able to just dive right in when you have the time. So I was just curious how you guide people now as to maybe what you find to be the common and best practice next action buckets.
Probably the best way to start that would be to have somebody list all 120 things on one list and say, does that work for you? And say, okay, how would you split that out? It should be pretty obvious that errands should be its own list. It should be pretty obvious that stuff to talk to my life partner about should be its own list. It should be somewhat obvious. Here are the websites I need to surf when I have a good internet connection. For me, it was important to distinguish between stuff I could do when I had a good web connection and stuff on a plane when I didn't. But maybe let me reverse engineer this back for you, Adam, to say how this all started. This all started back in 1983 or 84 when I started doing public seminars around this, with handing people public planners that we had found were the best planners to do this, and then creating a list called next actions and a list called projects. So we just, sort of the basic categories. And then at some point, this weird thing showed up called a mobile phone. Until then, pretty much all the actions you could take would be done, in pretty much one or two environments max.
That's right.
So as soon as the mobile phone showed up, guess what was possible? You could make calls from almost anywhere. So I went, wow. So what I did was I split my own next actions list into next actions, calls, and all the rest. Because that made sense. Because now, while I'm at with a phone, I can't do any of the other stuff, but I could make all these calls. And then I was doing a seminar. They had a great old friend. He was semi-retired, and he had a sailboat. And he took my seminar. He said, wow, David, there's a lot of stuff I need to do at my sailboat, not about my sailboat, because a lot of things I need to do about my boat. I need to go to the marine store and buy X, Y, and Z. He said, but there are a lot of things I always like to do when I'm on my boat. I created an at-boat list. Well, that's cool. So that's how all this started. But I'd had people show up. They like to list their things called, here's things that provide service to other people. Here are things that provide personal service to myself. Here's things. And they organized it by emotional value.
Yeah, it's less rigid.
What do you need to do about that to get that off your mind so that's not spinning around you in some inappropriate way, so you can trust you'll see that thing in front of the door you need to take to the office tomorrow, as opposed to trying to remember you need to take that thing. Why don't you build systems that remind you of stuff when you have to do them, so you can be kind of dumb and stupid like me most of the time, because I've just already made my decisions. Then I have the freedom to be kind of dumb and stupid and have fun, and then still do effective stuff. As simple as that sounds, that's it.